We are here joined by Barry Cohen, who is the president of merchandising for Editor's Closet Group. Barry, welcome to our studios.
Thank you, Mel.
So you are with Editor's Closet Group. You were also with Ideally, and you were also with Saks Fifth Avenue, which tells us that you have the experience to both sides of the whole picture.
Correct.
Meaning e-commerce and brick-and-mortar. But why is e-commerce capturing more market share as opposed to the brick-and-mortar?
I think e-commerce has understood what the consumer is interested in and why they want to shop. Department stores back in the 70s and 80s owned retail, and they understood how to make the shopping experience a lot of fun, exciting, great customer service, great brands, great pricing. They lost their way in that regard, and the e-commerce industry now understands that the things that really trigger a sale are brands, product depth, value, convenience, and fun. And those 5 factors really are what are driving the e-commerce industry at this point. And they're all important. I mean, when you look at Editor's Closet, which I currently run on the merchandising side, and you look at Ideally, which I helped start 5 years ago, it's all about great brands. Designer, bridge, better brands. And being able to deliver those brands in a fun, interactive, convenient e-commerce environment that's very customer service oriented, and above all, great value. And value is really the key word in the retail industry, whether it's brick and mortar or it is e-commerce. Consumers want value, and value is in the eye of the beholder. Dollar stores, Dollar General has 6,000 stores in America. What's good value for a Dollar General consumer is different than a high-end Saks consumer. High-end Saks consumer might think that $2,000 for a Gucci bag is great value. But whatever that value quotient is for that consumer market or demographic that you're going after, it's very, very imperative that retailers understood what is value for that consumer segment.
Okay. And you said the total retail is up 3.5%.
For December, about 3.5 comp.
Where are we going to see the consumers in 2012? What is driving the consumers?
Well, I don't think because Christmas occurred and the holiday season occurred that suddenly we have a new plateau that we're going to achieve. I think retail, excuse me, for first quarter could be sluggish. My feeling is that there's going to be a very promotional slant, certainly in January, because inventories are actually high now. In October, everyone was saying they were going to drive down their inventories on the retail side because they weren't sure if fourth quarter was going to be good. In actuality, it wasn't that good until Black Friday and Cyber Monday, where business was spectacular for that weekend. And then for the 2 weeks after that into December, it was soft again. So the consumer is really looking at where she or he thinks they're going to find the best value, when they think they're going to find the best value, and then go after that. And really, I think, shop in spurts, not in a day in, day out mentality. What retailers have to be able to come up with is a solution to this ongoing day in, day out pricing strategy, whether you're going to be on sale all the time like a Macy's Corp, or do their one-day POS sale events, or you're going to be able to have a day in, day out regular price mentality where the consumer actually believes your regular price, and maybe you promote and go on sale once a quarter. It's an ongoing real problem with retailers on how to price their product and how to promote it. And if you promote every day, what is it going to take to get the consumer to come back in? Well, it's the next sale at 60 off or 70 off. There's no end to it. So that's going to be a challenge going forward. I don't anticipate much change in first quarter, but I think what we might see is that retailers are going to start playing with the idea of more regular price business and understanding how they can trigger sales, regular price by having more fun environments, better customer service, and other factors that consumers are looking for.
I hear that the retail sales are not where you want it or expect it to be, yet we got the consumer confidence index reaching 8-month high. How do you read that?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. The stock market has actually been pretty good relative to where it was a year ago, and I think people, certainly in the middle class, upper middle class, really feel comfortable if they feel that their portfolios are going up or moving in the right direction. I think if the stock market was at 10,000 or less now, I think there'd be a huge consumer confidence decrease. But I think that's one piece of it. I think another piece is that, quite honestly, the unemployment rate went from 9 to 8.6. Whatever the numbers behind the scenes are in that statistic, it's still a good signal, and now they think it could go down to 8.5, 8.4 in this next period when the new numbers come out. So I think consumers are starting to feel a little better. On top of that, the retailers were extremely generous in their promotions. I mean, they went much deeper for the month of December than they did a year ago. So there was a lot of pricing out there that consumers basically got attracted to and started spending a lot more money than was originally anticipated. That gets into the news. And quite honestly, people say, well, everyone's spending. I guess the country is feeling better. And I think that's what's really triggering that whole psychological lift. I think it's temporary, meaning that if the market suddenly took a major dip or there was some other economic catastrophe in Europe or whatever, I think, quite honestly, that could change. But right now, we'll have to wait and see. I don't feel that anything we read statistically, whether it's on the retail side, Wall Street, whatever, is anything that you can count on for a long period of time. I think it's a very, very sporadic market right now in all areas.
You're saying it's sporadic and we cannot talk statistics. Well, let's talk about anticipation. I mean, going forward now, there are a few days left to end 2011 and go into 2012. In terms of numbers, where do the retailers want to see the consumption? Because consumption is about 70% of the economy.
Well, certainly they want to see those stats going up. 3.5% comp store increase would have been considered 10 years ago a disastrous season.
Right.
In light of what's happening now, 3.5% is like, thank God. You know, thank God we weren't flat or down. Sears, we saw the news recently that
they're closing like what, 120 stores?
Well, the reason was
stores?
in fourth quarter they have dropped 5.3% comp. That's a big swing from where most retailers are now. Most retailers are in 2, 3, 4, 5% increases. So you have a swing of almost 8 to 10 points from where Sears is performing versus others. Sears is a unique issue in which, several years ago when they merged Kmart and Sears, they took two weak companies that didn't have strong demographic understanding of who their consumer was. They put them together and created one large problem business.
But is it a first casualty to the retail industry?
Well, there's been other casualties. We saw the demise of Linens and Things. We saw the demise recently of... well, in that case, Bed Bath & Beyond became the beneficiary of that. We saw the demise of Borders Books, a huge chain. There's been casualties for the last, well, every year there are really retail casualties. They've been more pronounced recently because of the fact that there isn't enough juice in the economy to really support two big book chains. Or we saw what happened with Sharper Image and Brookstone. Sharper Image, I thought, was the better retailer. They went out, but Brookstone is still here. There just isn't enough Bed Bath & Beyond and Linens and Things, not enough consumer demand to have two companies like that. What I think we're going to see in 2012 is a further diminution, so to speak, of the industry, meaning that there's going to be weak companies that are going to fall out. What will happen with Kmart and Sears, I think, personally, 120 stores is the tip of the iceberg. I think that company could be in half 2 or 3 years down the road. There is no real reason to have those companies there when you have other retailers like Target and Kohl's doing so much of a better job understanding their demographic, understanding value, understanding product, brand.
Yet they're competitive too.
And they compete in the same demographic.
That's right.
You have to look at who's out there. You know, there's a formula that retailers use called SWOT. It's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Good retailers will sit and analyze constantly, short-term and long-term, what their strengths are and how to make those positives stronger. Weaknesses. Sometimes weaknesses are good to know because it's a business you should get rid of. You don't necessarily, if you can't be better than your competition, then get out of it.
Yes.
Opportunities, basically, are what new businesses can we go after? And threats, who's out there that could take away our market share? I can assure you that the retailers running Linens and Things didn't use SWOT analysis effectively in understanding what Bed Bath & Beyond was doing to their business, and Borders and others. Certainly Kmart and Sears should use that analysis and trying to understand how they can compete better with Walmart, with Kohl's and Target, to understand do they even need two companies? Maybe there should be one company, maybe it should be a smaller company, and maybe it should just focus on appliances and tools and hard goods instead of even trying to compete in the apparel business.
Sounds very good. Thank you so much for coming. Is there anything that I should have added that I missed?
No, I don't think so.
We covered pretty much the retail sales in the 2012 outlook.
Yeah, I think, quite honestly, although I am a big proponent of e-commerce and think that the future of retail belongs in the e-commerce sector, and I think within 5 years you're going to see that sector being 50% or more of the total retail business, just taking market share more and more away from brick and mortar. There are still significant success stories on the brick and mortar side, one being Apple, for instance, that has figured out how to make their stores exciting, fun, interactive, service-oriented, and obviously great product, great price. And they have figured out, more than anyone, the regular price formula. They don't have to go on sale, and they sell a lot of product every day of the week. That's
Thank you very much, Barry. Thank you for coming to our studios and sharing all these outlook comments and insights with us. Thank you.